Hey guys, Noxious here, and today we're going to be talking about the official 7.40 patch notes that just rolled in on Thursday. First of all, I just want to thank all of you for watching, and if you enjoy the content I'm making, then please subscribe to the channel. Now to get into the thick of it. This patch is not only massive and what we have been waiting for, but it also contains things that were not foreseen prior to the update. So first off, Epic's given us a new set of challenges called overtime challenges that not only give rewards for each one completed, but when you complete 13 of them, you will unlock the Season 8 Battle Pass free of charge. There's no doubt that everyone's going to be doing this. I also feel that they're doing this limited time offer that extends to this 27th of February this year. So it's about 2 weeks to take people away from that new Battle Royale Apex Legends and get them playing Fortnite instead. Sounds like a low blow to the new game, but it is a very smart business tactic, and in all honesty, it will benefit the players for both games. There's been a lot of divide between people who play Fortnite and Apex Legends. I'll probably make another video about this in the near future, but I just wanted to put it out there that both games are out. And will make it so each company will start having to produce content more frequently and of higher quality to keep up with the competition. This means that us, the players, will obviously benefit from both games more so than if there were no competition. Anyways, back to the topic at hand, patch 7.40 in Fortnite. So they enabled gifting. It returned until February 22nd, which is about another 5 days or so from this video being created. And for essentially 1 day, they gave out a free Valentine's Day glider called the Heartspan glider that could only be obtained by receiving it as a gift. The glider itself is okay, but for a free gift, hey, why not? Anyways, the way you'd get this is you'd have you and a buddy grab it from the store and then trade it to each other. And then you both have the glider for free. They also put in the new weapon, which we all foresaw as the infantry rifle. It's essentially a hunting rifle that has 8 rounds in the mag and hits for around the same damage as a heavy assault rifle. Actually deals 41 damage, 43 damage, or 45 damage depending on the rarity of the weapon, and has a 2x headshot multiplier and has no damage fall off. So that's really the only bonus of this weapon, is that the farther you are, it still doesn't, the damage doesn't fall off. The weapon doesn't seem to be great in my opinion, but it does seem like a viable option maybe in a sniper slot. I really don't see this weapon taking over any other slot. Epic also decided to edit the bush so we can now use it while not blocking half our screen. They made the infamous bush consumable translucent for people who use it so they can actually see. It'll also be able to withstand 1 instance of weapon damage before removing it from you. I've only used it once or twice. I highly recommend against using it because it takes up an inventory slot for that second you use it. But it also still, I used it even when they, after the patch, and it's still horrible. I really don't think it works out. But I mean, if you're trying to do a troll game or something like that, like camping in Tilted with a bush, which there's no bushes in Tilted, making it troll, I mean, go ahead. They also put in the hand cannon change, which essentially gutted it. The epic hand cannon does 100 damage down from 150, and the legendary version will do 105 damage down from 157. This is 2 structures only. This means neither version of the weapon will destroy a wall regardless of the material in 1 shot. Moving on to the rocket launcher, they definitely nerfed this. I mean, it's very obvious. It's going to be much harder to find. They did remove them from chests, but they ended up increasing the chance from getting one from supply drops from 25% previously to 50% now. They also changed the epic rocket launcher reload speed from 2.66 seconds to 3.42 seconds, and the legendary version of the rocket launcher from 2.52 seconds to 3.24 seconds. So hopefully everyone is not using these anymore in the final 10 players of the game. It used to be a big problem for me that everybody was just spamming rockets. But I mean, with that 1 second increase almost to reload speed and reducing the drop rate of them in the game, that's going to be really cool just to see how little they're being used now. And, you know, it'll actually feel like a rare item. Epic vaulted grenades, decided to replace them with clingers, which seems like an awesome addition to the game. I mean, I've died quite a few times to these, so they're pretty cool. They also added Cupid's crossbow, which we foresaw before this patch. Seems to do a lot more damage than the previous crossbow released. 79 body shot damage and 197 headshot damage. It's insane damage. I still think it's a weak weapon overall, but I mean, body shot damage at 79 is pretty substantial. Moving on to bigger things, they put pop-up cup settings into default games. I think this is amazing. Not only does it change the game by allowing us to get health or shields and materials on eliminations, but it also allows us to practice for pop-up cups effectively. Each elimination will give you 50 health or shield based on your health when an elimination occurs, and will give you 50 of each material as well, but you have to pick those materials up. And they made the cap on materials, just like the pop-up cups, for 500 each, so 500 wood, steel, and brick. But they also increased the harvest rate by 40%, so that's very good. These changes allow us to practice exactly how pop-up cups are played, so there's no difference between the two game modes. Another couple of big changes Epic implemented were the planes and zip lines. Now, we already talked about this in a previous video, but I'd like to cover them again because it's such a great change. Planes will no longer be able to break through the large objects like builds or natural cover like buildings. Zip lines now require you to interact with them to jump on them. I mean, this has saved me so many times. It's kind of taking me a little bit of time to get used to, but it's better than accidentally jumping on a zip line and then falling to your death. So now you have to push a button, the interact button, to jump on the zip line. And also they grant immunity to fall damage when you jump on them. So another big great change that Epic put in this patch. They decided to increase the travel distance of the final circle by 48%. Meaning people have to travel much further to get to this area, meaning more battles and less camping, which is something Epic has always talked about when it comes to competitive play and how there's always 30 players, you know, in the last circle in the pro games. So this is also kind of good. I mean, it's going to make it so people are camping a lot less in the final minutes of the game. They did, however, increase the time it takes to shrink from 45 seconds to 75 seconds on the last circle, so it will take longer to actually shrink. Everyone except mobile players, which Epic hints at that it'll be coming soon to mobile, can now crouch while being in edit mode. This is finally a change that, you know, should have been implemented when the game came out, but they did eventually put it in, which is great. This should have, you know, obviously been in from the get-go, but I'm so glad they made this change. They reduced the timer for turbo building from 0.15 seconds to 0.05 seconds, which means your builds will come out faster if you're holding that key, which is another great addition to this update. And they also added the ability to swap items currently selected with one on the ground by holding the interact button instead of tapping it. I feel that I've always had to hold the interact button, so this may only be for consoles, but I'm not sure. I play on PC. Epic also added that when you drop a floor trap or, you know, a jump pad or whatever the case may be, the trap slot, it automatically builds a floor if you have the resources, making everything a lot easier. And I'm sure this affects, you know, everybody in a positive way. I can't see how this would negatively affect somebody. I'm not going to include all the bug fixes in this video, but other impactful changes include the new tournament series, the Share the Love series, which is solo and duo tournaments open from February 14th until the 24th. It's awesome that they're making the tournament last this long, and it'll allow us to get a pin during each division, and then it'll make you so when you get the pin, you will advance to the next division. There's 4 divisions, the Open Division, which is the starter one, Prospect Division, Contender Division, and Champion Division. So we'll be able to get the the love sprays based on the highest division achieved. You'll get one, I believe. I think I got two after getting a pin for the open division. And then from what it sounds like, you could earn a pin during a nightly session, and that'll advance you to the next division. And if you're in the champion division, the final division, and earn a pin, you'll advance to the champion division finals. This will definitely be fun to play, and I cannot wait to get cracking on this over the next week or so. They also added a Trios One-Day Cup for February 17th, which is today, which will be 3 rounds, and you can earn a pin for each round. It starts as an open tournament, and then it progresses into a more intense final round with the best trio groups battling it out. This is something that, you know, it's like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the early afternoon, 2 hours in the evening, and then 2 hours at night, getting people up, you know, in ranks. And the more they win, you know, the higher they go, the more pins they get, they'll go up into the further games. And then eventually it'll be a battle of the best. I know I didn't hit all the patch notes, but this includes the biggest changes for Battle Royale and Fortnite. And to be honest, the changes are exactly what we needed. Some people may say otherwise, but Epic Games has put out a lot of changes, and they are all very impactful to the game. Once again, this is Noxious. Thanks you guys for watching, and please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have something to add. Y'all take it easy.